Hello, hello, hello. Here we are in Module 3, Lesson 4, Video 1. And on page 31 in your Learn book, you see these 6 fraction times whole number. In fact, they're all fraction times 4 problems. And I don't want you to cut them out. I want you to leave them right where they are. And I want you to number them in the order you think they are, from smallest to largest. So just by looking at them, please don't do the math. Once again, we're trying to think about fractions as numbers. So here's a low risk chance for you to give it a try. Which one do you think is the largest? Which one do you think is the smallest? Number them 1 to 6, because today we're going to be multiplying fractions and whole numbers. Okay, so you might want to pause this video and go ahead and number those 1 to 6. We will be talking about them again, so please get that done, and I'll be checking it on your notes. Okay, speaking about notes, you have some space for notes on the bottom of that page or on the back of that page. There's a bunch of blank space there. All I literally want is the numbers on this page, like right next to the problem. So just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, from smallest to largest. All right, and you are going to write down the notes in your book on page 31 or 32. And we are going to be looking at 3/4 times 7. 3/4 times 7. We got this stuff that Google Docs just puts at the top nowadays. Can we just get rid of it? There we go. Okay, 3/4 times 7. You think the answer is going to be less than 7 or more than 7? Can you draw something that can help you find the product? How can you use what you know about 1/4 times 7 to find the answer? You can think about what we worked on in lesson 3. I think I'm going to draw a tape diagram. As I said before, make sure you're taking the notes and writing this down. My total amount is going to be 7, and I'm going to have 4 parts because my denominator is a 4. And I'm looking at 3 of them, 1, 2, and 3. So I could think about 1/4 using my unit fraction times 3 times 7, right? Because 3/4 is the same as 1/4 times 3. And that would be 1/4 times 21. Which would be the same as 21/4, right? And then I can divide 21 divided by 4. 4 times 5 is 20. And that leaves 1 left over. So that would be 5 and 1/4, right? And that makes sense because 3/4 of 7, it's going to be less than 7. So 5 and 1/4 makes some sense there. We have a couple of different ways to look at this. So here's one way, right? Thinking about the unit fraction and the number. Okay. We could also look at what we call Noah's way. Could draw a number line. And in that number line, we can color in 3 out of the 4 parts, which would be 3/4 plus 3/4 plus 3/4 plus 3/4 plus 3/4 plus 3/4 plus 3/4. That's a lot of adding together. We need 1 for every one of the 7, so there's 7 of those, and that makes 21/4. And then, of course, we would need to divide our 21 by 4 and get 5 and 1/4. Okay, that is a totally fine way to do it. Another fine way to do it is similar to what I did, but now we have 3 times the 7/4, right? Each box is 7/4, right? Each box is 7/4, and there's 3 of those. 1, 2, 3. So 3 times 7/4 is 21/4. That's a very nice way to do it too. Oh, I guess we got to clean the screen off. There we go. Okay. I think this is how I did it. 3 times 1/4 times 7, 7/4 times 3, 21/4. Okay. Notice we're getting all the same answers, right? Okay, very good. And notice also that 3/4 times 7, 3 times 7/4, and 21/4 are all equal to each other, right? So think about that. Think about multiplying. Okay, very good. All right. Now let's think about 4/4 times 7. 4/4 times 7. Now notice 4/4, right? So that's 1, 2, 3, 4 of those. Yeah? So what would 4/4 of 7 be equal to? That would be equal to 7, right? Because basically they're saying 1. 1 of 7. Well, yeah, that would be 7. Okay, so what about 5/4 of 7? 5/4. How can we show 5/4? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But our 7 is only here, right? Because 5/4 is one more fourth. So could we do 5 times 7/4, right? Because each one is 7/4. And then we can just multiply 5 times 7/4, which would be 35/4. Is that okay? I think it is. Well, here's another way to look at it, right? Because we're moving into our next group of 7. So you see how we have 2 7s here, but we still have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5/4. Yes. So here's some math. 5 times as much as 1/4 times 7, right? So 5/4 is the same as 5 times 1/4. This is our unit fraction. And then we can multiply it by 7. So we can take our 7 times 1/4. That makes 7/4 times 5, 35/4, 8 3/4. Or we can take 1/4 of 7 more than 4/4. So we're thinking about that one back here, right? Because we have 1/4 more. So we know that 4/4 is 7, and then 1/4 more, right? Thinking about it that way. Of course, it's still going to be the same answer, but 4/4 of 7 is 7, and then 1/4 of 7 is 7/4. 1/4 times 7, right? So then 7/4, 7 divided by 4, that would be 1, 4, and 3 left over. So that makes 1 3/4. Plus 7 is 8 3/4. So of course there's always more than one way to solve the answer, but you can do tape diagrams for numbers more than 1. All right, very good. I'll see you in the next video. Thank you for your hard work. Aloha.